everyone, my name is Omi and I'm the Arc Truth, and today on July 15th, 2022, I'm going to be talking about Joe Biden once again. And I apologize for any more sound in the background. It's just I have a fan on already. It's mid-July and it's getting hot up here in Washington. I know, it's kind of weird. Washington actually getting hot and humid. Usually it's pretty cold, like maybe three-fourths of the entire year. It's either cold or wet. Sometimes, a lot of the times, it's a little bit both. But hey, what do you do? It's Washington. It's a pretty messed up place. Anyway, here Joe Biden is losing a lot of ground and a lot of support already. The issue of inflation is becoming a heavy big deal, and with the recent July numbers having since been released to the public, it's become a major concern now. In fact, it's actually affected a lot of congressional talks recently. Currently with the report, inflation stands now at 9.1%. As a matter of, it's pretty high. In fact, it was so high when I heard about this from Sticks, X, and Hammer, who I occasionally listen to. He actually expected it to be 8.5. He expected a rise, but not this high of a rise. Honestly, considering how badly things are going with the economy, how Joe Biden is just screwing up with oil and that sort of thing, and especially with a lot of what Sticks, X, and Hammer says, I'm inclined to believe that inflation will hit the double digits soon. Although I am not a financial advisor in any way, so I have no way to know that for sure. It's just my own guess based upon the information that I have. So I'm already reporting from the Hill that due to the issue of the report on 9.1%, Joe Manchin has actually decided he's not going to deal with any spending bills. In fact, he's going to try to vote against them as a result of this. Here, the Hill says, Senator Joe Manchin, Democrat, West Virginia, said Friday that he told Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer this week that reports showing inflation jumping at 9.1% in June compared to a year ago blew up the chances of him supporting a bill with climate provisions and tax reform anytime soon. Basically, this involves trying to raise taxes and a lot of Green Deal BS that honestly a lot of people don't want. And I'm pretty sure Manchin does know this, but I'm pretty sure he needed a pretty good reason to respond, so that way he doesn't get attacked from the Democrats. But how does this affect Joe Biden? Well, he was in support of these bills as well. In fact, he's actually pretty pissed about this regard. In fact, or at least the White House in general, tends to take some kind of action as a result of this when the rest of Congress can't. Personally, I don't know how he can without either being unconstitutional and eventually going through litigation and just getting eventually struck down. I mean, after all, we saw how badly he handled with the vaccine mandates and tried to push that on private employees and yada yada yada. But again, this shows that he doesn't really have any political capital left in the Congress, and that's going to affect him heavily in upcoming midterms. Hell, it's already affecting him right now. Already, if he has any presidential ambitions of a second term, he is not doing so well with the party, because just recently, there's been several new polls with Biden's approval rate, according to the New York Times, hitting 33%. I wouldn't be surprised if in reality it's a lot lower than that. But 33%, that's not a good range to be in if you want to run for a second term. And in some cases, in some other polls, between 2/3 to even in one case, 94% of Democrats do not want Joe Biden to run again. Or take that back, with the 94% of Democrats. 94% of Democrats under the age of 30 do not want him to run again. And honestly, I don't blame him, especially since many of them cite the pessimism of the uh, economic issues that are heavily affecting them. The gas prices, the inflation, which is definitely having a problem with retirement and social security, and even their own wages. Wages may be going up, but so do the prices of a lot of goods. Wheat, in fact, even the Russian invasion of Ukraine is going to, and as well as the sanctions, are definitely going to have a major issue, have a major problem on the economy. But let's be honest here. The rise of inflation all began way before even the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. It just, it just made it worse, to be honest. But obviously, despite what the mainstream media would like you to believe, it's not what has caused the rise of inflation, especially with right now. Now, with that being said, Joe Biden, honestly, weirdly enough, when he was told about this, of the fact that 94% of Democrats younger than 30 do not want to run, he said, no, Democrats want me to run. I have no idea what. I know that this is stupid coming out of my mouth, because I know that there's definitely problems with him mentally. It definitely shows. I would not be surprised if he has like Alzheimer's or dementia. But I don't understand what's running through his head. No sane person would look at this and say, yeah, I am definitely going to become the nominee for the 2024 presidential election. And hell, there's already blood water with a lot of major politicians who are Democrats who don't want him to run. But then again, there is some sense to what Biden says, believe it or not, because of two major things. One, the vote blue no matter who crowd, which is basically doesn't matter who's on the ticket. If they're Democrats, well, I'm gonna vote for them anyway. And of course, who the hell is left? There's Gavin Newsom of the governor of California. Okay, but in all honesty, let's face it, he's not I wouldn't say he's the most popular person, especially in California, much less a major figure within the Democratic Party. There's Kamala Harris, and my god, people don't like her, just look at what happened in 2020. I honestly can't figure out anyone else. Hell, people actually mention Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I do not think that even though that she is going to turn 35, which is part of the requirements of running for president, even when she does turn 35, she will not run for president of the United States. And even if she did, she will be easily wiped out. I probably am going to make another video why I think that's the case. So who else is there? Only one is Joe Biden. He's the incumbent within the Democratic Party, and he's basically the only big name. Unfortunately, the Democrats are stuck with him. But the fact that Joe Biden is doing terribly, it's not going to look good at all for the Democrats, especially coming with the 2022 midterms. I mean, with all of this that's going on, with the rise of inflation, the rise of gas prices, how he's been handling diplomacy. Hell, just recently, I saw an article on, two articles actually, where it talked about how Joe Biden negotiated with Saudi Arabia. He initially tried to get some more oil from them. Of course, well, he said that he said earlier, if you remember in my previous videos, especially in regards to gas prices and the Ukraine, that he wouldn't be talking to the Saudi prince about any of that. And yes, he did. Or did he? Well, it turns out he forgot. I do not understand how a person could forget such a thing. I mean, this is Saudi Arabia we're talking about. If you think of Saudi Arabia, you think oil, people. You think massive amounts of oil. That's what everyone comes straight. At least in my case, that's what comes into my mind when I think of that country. Yet he forgot about that. And another thing is, he actually went so far as to blame the Saudi prince for, and this is from the New York Times. He blamed the Saudi prince for one of the journalist assassinations that the Ashgabat assassination. Let me look that up. I want to make sure that I say it correctly. Saudi prince. Oh, sorry. My apologies. It's the ABC News. Biden says he raised Khashoggi murder with Saudi crown prince. And yeah, he did blame him. And considering, last time I checked, that's not a good idea for having good diplomatic relations, especially with an economic partner in the Middle East. A major economic partner in the Middle East. He's definitely not going to get oil, especially after that. Even if... I mean, seriously. I don't like the Saudi Arabian government whatsoever, but that's a horrible idea of trying to blame them and just try to open up that wound to just further strain relations with that country. Especially when you're trying to get oil from them, Joe Biden. But then again, he's the guy who happens to have dementia. So yeah, considering with these factors, I still hold to my opinion that this is going to show horribly for the Democratic Party. I think that 2022, it's going to be a moment when the Democratic Party will have to try to make a decision in regards to 2024, whether to have Joe Biden or not. And definitely, there are a lot of politicians that want to get rid of Joe Biden. I wouldn't be surprised if Kamala Harris wants to get rid of Joe Biden. There's been a lot of jokes about her trying to get rid of Biden for a long time, and trying to throw each other around on the bus. But I don't see any other alternatives. I honestly don't. Gavin Newsom, AOC, those aren't really people that the Democrats truly like. Right now, the Democratic Party is in the middle of a hard place between the far left and, of course, the neoliberal establishment. And in all honesty, honestly, I don't see a win for them. They're gonna lose in 2022. That's my opinion, and honestly, with how everything is going, that's gonna be a fact. But considering with 2024, I believe they have no choice but to have Joe Biden run again. There is no one else for them except for this incumbent, nothing more. And I'm pretty sure he would love to have some kind of go at it to try to cement his own legacy. Maybe even try to make him look like, oh, I'm gonna try to beat Donald Trump again. Because let's face it, Donald Trump is going to try to run again in 2024. But I honestly believe Donald Trump is going to crush Joe Biden if he remains the nominee. Hell, in regards to whoever it does become the nominee, even without Joe Biden, they will be crushed by Donald Trump. My name is Noah Meehan on The Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding my videos, such as how I speak, or any improvements whatsoever, please put them down in the comment section down below, or directly message me. Thank you.